What's up, my reseller friends? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sabrina. I thrift to resell on eBay and Mercari, and this is my year's end video where I'm just going to be going over a few things about 2021, what I've learned, what my goals are for the future. So I'm just going to start off by reading out to you my top 10 categories that I sold in 2021. So number one is Blu-rays and DVDs. And then it's dolls, video games, doll clothing, men's t-shirts, books, women's tops, doll furniture, action figures, and then music. So yeah, those were my top categories. What have I learned this year? Well, number one is I never really realized how important sending offers and ending stale items and relisting them really are. I know I talked about it in one of my recent videos, but now that I've been doing this full time and I have a routine, I'm really starting to notice how much of a difference doing those things really make. I have learned that if you have listings that have just been sitting around, not getting very many views, they're not selling, eBay will just straight up hide them. You got to refresh those old listings. I used to always think, oh, I could just post something on eBay and just leave it there and wait till it sells. But no, you got to put work into selling your stuff. So I have noticed that ending those listings and then selling as similar and then maybe just changing a few things up, that's really been helping me move a lot of my old inventory. And because I have more fresh listings, all my listings are getting more views, which is also helping all the other stuff in my store sell. And this is just something that I've just learned from experience. Something else that I learned this year was not to stress over the small things. And I am struggling with it still. Sometimes it's just like all these little things that happen at times can just add up and become one big thing. And I noticed that when that happens, I find myself to get pretty discouraged. For example, the other day I found myself stressing about something. I had this Barbie house chair that I had sold. And when I went to go bring it out of my inventory, I started to take it apart because when I sell Barbie stuff, I like to disassemble it and ship it that way because I feel like it just protects the item better. So that's what I was doing with this chair, and upon doing it, I broke off a little piece of it. And I literally had like a little mini heart attack, like, oh no, I'm thinking all these things, I'm gonna get negative feedback. Do I just ship it like this? Like, what? Maybe they won't notice, like, what do I do? So all I did was just send the buyer a message, and I explained to her what happened in a picture, and I asked her if she still wanted it. What's the worst that's gonna happen? She's gonna say, no, thank you, don't ship it anymore. I refund her and move on with it, right? That's the worst that can happen. And because of the fact that she would say no, she doesn't want it after all, then I can select that the buyer asked to cancel the order, and then I'm not going to get a ding. So really, there's not really anything too bad that can happen to me, right? But the buyer ended up responding saying, no, I still want the chair. Thank you for letting me know. So I was really grateful for that. And then I sent her a couple of extra like Barbie goodies and stuff to go with that. But the moral of the story is just don't stress out about these small little things. Just do what you can do that's in your power, and that's all there is to it. Something else that I've learned this year is how important it is just to move out inventory. I hear so many different opinions on this topic where a lot of resellers are like, no, don't drop your prices, hold out, someone will buy it. And then I've heard the other side where people are like, just get rid of your stuff. Like, why are you holding on to it? You're not a storage unit, just sell your stuff. And I get both sides. But for me, I've noticed that I'm really more into, let's just sell this stuff. Let's move it. Let's get some cash flow going. If I can make like a decent profit off of it, that's great. Let me invest that money back into this business and just keep going. I don't want stale inventory in my store. I want things to sell fast. And if that means that I have to drop the prices a little bit, I'm totally fine with it. As long as I'm looking at my bank account and I'm seeing it grow at the pace that I want it to grow at, I'm not going to stress over a couple dollars here or a couple of dollars there. I just want to keep that cash flow going. Something else that I learned is that a lot of hard work on eBay doesn't pay off right away. And you'll hear a lot of people say that, oh yeah, when I went on vacation, I still got all my sales. Based off experience, I have this theory that whenever you work really hard on eBay, so let's just say that you have a day where you really buckled down and you got tons of stuff listed. And then it can be discouraging because you feel like, man, I just listed all this stuff and it's not like selling. Like, why isn't this stuff selling? I really believe that it takes about a week or two for your hard work to start to pay off. So if you just work super hard for 1 week, you're not really going to see the benefits of that hard working week until maybe a couple weeks later. But also, let's say that you have like a really slow week where you're like on vacation or you're not really listing. You probably won't see the slowdown affect you until a couple weeks later. I don't really have anything to back up any truth behind this. It's just what I've observed from my own experience. Something else that I learned is that we all have slow days and you can't let those slow days discourage you. In my case, I normally have slow, like couple of days. It's really rare that I have like that one slow day. It does happen, but it's more like I'll have like 2 or 3 days that are really slow and then it picks back up. And I just think that during those slow days, it's very important not to get discouraged as long as you're still listing, as long as you're still being very active on the platform, you're fine. Just keep doing what you're doing. And eventually those sales will come back and you'll be fine. I kind of want to piggyback off of that and talk about promoted listings because I experimented with it for a while. And again, this is nothing that I have solid evidence or proof on. It's just something that I've noticed is that if I change all my listings to promote like at 4 or 5%, like pretty, in my opinion, that's high. If I do that, sometimes I get like a boost and I start, to sell things. So sometimes if my store is very, very slowed, I feel like it's been slow for too long, I'll do that. But I'll only leave it at that for like a day or two until it picks up momentum again. And then I'll go back and switch it to 1% promoted listings. But I never ever keep it high at that like 4 or 5% because I notice that it loses its momentum. So I never keep it at that. And as long as I still feel like my sales are consistent, I just leave it at that 1% and I don't touch it. Something else that I learned, it's so important to take breaks when you are worn out. I've been finding myself to get pretty worn out. There's like certain days where like I feel like I shouldn't take a break. Like I just want to keep going. But the other day I literally was dragging myself to finish these last listings that I needed to do. I mean, it felt like it was going to take me forever because I was just dragging towards the end. And then I had to remember, Sabrina, you should take a break. So I literally came into my room, I lied down on my bed and I watched the first 20 to 30 minutes of It's a Wonderful Life. And I was rested up. I got back up. I think I grabbed something to eat. And then I jumped back on my computer to finish off those last listings. And I finished them so quickly. And I just felt better about it. And I feel like my listings probably came out better because I was more focused and alert. And it's so important to remind ourselves to take those breaks. So now I'm going to update you on how things have been going with me working full time. Sorry, I meant to say reselling full time. Now, I do want to say that my decision to go full time was kind of something that I wasn't expecting was going to happen. I don't really want to talk too much about it yet. Maybe in the future, I'll feel more willing to talk about it. But there was just a circumstance that happened that put me at a crossroad where I wasn't expecting. And it was like either you're going to be a full-time reseller and you're going to do this, or you're going to go this direction and you're going to do this. And I did not see this crossroad coming. I thought maybe it would be another year or two, but it came. And I'm just so grateful that I pursued this in my life, because if I didn't have this experience selling on eBay, and if I wasn't doing this part-time, I wouldn't have come to a crossroad. I would have come to a stop, and I would have had to turn and go another direction. I wouldn't have an option. So I'm just so grateful for that. But with that said, I wasn't really prepared to go full-time. I didn't think I was necessarily ready for it, but I'm taking this risk, and I'm willing to sacrifice a couple months of not having my income where I need it to be, because like I said, I feel like my store wasn't in that right place yet for it. So this is something that I'm gonna have to build up. And it's been, I'm noticing that I'm getting a little bit anxious and depressed because my numbers aren't where I want them to be, and my bank account's not where I want it to be. But also, I've been investing in a lot of inventory, and I'm very happy with my investments, and I see it making me money. But it's still that, like, at that beginning when you have to like make those investments, it's kind of scary. And I've been really, really loving it. I love the fact that I can make my own hours. You know, my daughter had a award ceremony at school a couple weeks ago, and I got to go to it, and I didn't even have to ask anybody if I could. And you know, my husband wanted to like take me out for lunch randomly yesterday, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. Like, I didn't have to ask permission. It was just great. Like, it feels so good to have that freedom. I can't even express to you guys how good that feels. It feels wonderful. But then there's also this part of me that just puts all this pressure for, like, I have to be successful. And I think it's good that I have that quality, but at the same time, I just put all the stress on myself. And I am stressed a lot about this reselling business. And I care about it a lot more now. I feel like I've been putting a lot more caution in everything I do, because it's just so important. And the thought of getting like negative feedback or any kind of strikes or anything like that is so much scarier now, because I just know how important this store is. It's so important, and it's so fragile. Like, I feel like I just have to protect it. And that's kind of where I stand right now. But as far as my sales do go, I am up about 50% from the last month. So I am seeing that increase. So that is great. Goals for 2022. Now, the types of things that I sell on my store is, yes, I try to sell items that are worth a lot of money, but I also have a lot of really low price items in my store too. You know, things that are very easy for me to post, and they're easy for me to store and ship. Like, examples for that would be like DVDs, Blu-rays, books, you know, action figures, toys, you know, just stuff like that. Like, things that are so easy to go out there and find for cheap. And they're really fast to list, but they're not things that bring in lots of money. They're the types of things where I need to sell a lot of them for all those to add up. And they do, they absolutely do. But because of that, because I have a lot of these like smaller items, I need to have a very, very large inventory. I have no excuse for it, because I can just go anywhere and get these things so easily. And I need to be posting them very quickly, and I need to be posting a lot every day. I would like to, at some point, be at about 4,000 to 5,000 listings on my store. Right now, I'm somewhere around 1,100, and I ship out anywhere between 8 to 12 orders a day. I feel like I really want to get that up to 4,000 to 5,000, and I want to be shipping around 40 items a day. Another goal is just to be better at sourcing. I want to Yes, I love selling like my books and my movies and all that stuff, but I also want to learn more about things that are more valuable. And that's one of the things that I love so much about YouTube. I love going and watching videos about what sold for other resellers. So I really use that tool that's free, and I use that to help my business. And that's why I like to make videos too, is showing you guys what sold for me, because it's kind of my way of giving back. Now I'm going to quickly talk to you about YouTube. I am currently just shy of about 20 more subscribers to be at 1,000 subscribers. This is not something that's come easy for me. I've had this channel for about 1.5 years now. I've been really slowly growing this channel, but it is growing and I'm having so much fun with it. And I honestly, even if I never made 1,000 subscribers, even if I could never get monetized, I really feel like I would still make videos because I just love doing it. And it's just, nothing makes me feel better than when someone comments on my videos and they tell me that they learned something from me, or they helped me, or I was able to help them with something. Being able to monetize my channel is just a plus. It's not the reason why I'm doing this. But I am really excited that I have this opportunity where I'm like this close. So, yeah, I really plan on putting out a lot of great content for you in 2022. I'm going to be putting a lot of what sold videos. Maybe I'll put more hauls. And anytime I've experienced something within my journey, or I learned something, or if I have a bad experience that I felt like I could learn something from that experience, I like to make videos about that so I can, you know, help you too as well. So I will be posting a lot more videos. I definitely don't want YouTube to come before eBay. eBay is definitely the most important. My reselling business is the most important, but this YouTube channel is something that I can do on the side. Still continue to watch my videos next year. I hope that I can just keep making them better, and that I can get better at making content and better at speaking, because I know I'm not that great at it. I sometimes I go back and watch my videos. I'm like, Sabrina, you suck. Like, look at the camera more. Stop saying and. Stop saying like, what are you doing? Like, your lazy eyes all looking off to the side. I get so embarrassed and so discouraged sometimes. I'm like my own worst critic. And then even when my husband's like watching my videos, and if I'm in the room, I'll be like, no, I don't want to hear it. Stop, turn it off. So, and I'm a really bad YouTuber when it comes to promoting myself. I have an Instagram account and I try to post on there as much as I can, but I'm just kind of lazy and I don't really promote myself as much as I should, and I know that. And there was like a few friends and family that I told about my channel. Like, I think it's like some of my like really, really close friends and family, but I never went onto my own personal Instagrams and Facebooks and told people to go like and subscribe my channel and stuff, because I'm really embarrassed. So I rather a lot of like people who know me not watch my videos. I don't know. I just got a lot of insecurities. Now, since this is the video that is going to be going into 2022, I thought I would briefly talk about these 1099s and taxes, because now it is by law that eBay, Mercari, Posh, and all these places are going to have to send you 1099s as long as you sell at least $600 worth of stuff. Some people are flipping out about it. Some people are discouraged by it. Some people are asking for advice. And I'm definitely not a tax professional. I do have a background in tax because I am a business major. I did take some courses on taxes in school, so I do know a little bit, but if we're being honest, I barely passed those tax classes with a C. I hated taxes. So though like I got a little bit of an understanding for it, I'm no way, even shape or form, like close to being a professional. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you how to do your taxes, but I will give some quick advice on things that I think could help you if you're feeling nervous about this. Number one, take a deep breath. Do not let this stop you from selling on eBay, because I'm not going to lie, when I first started selling, I did have that idea in my head where I'm going to have to do my own taxes on this. What if I mess it up and I get in trouble? Is it even worth it? And it almost discouraged me from selling, but from being a reseller. And I'm so glad that it didn't, because it really wasn't as scary as it seems. Trust me, guys. And this is something else too that you need to know. If you are smart enough to know how to use eBay, smart enough to know how to do shipping and all this stuff that we do, you are smart enough to know how to figure out how to make a Section C and figure out how to do your taxes. Trust me, you are capable. You are smart and you can do it. So these are the things I would tell you. Number one, make sure you do have your own separate bank account for your reselling business. This should be whenever you buy anything for the business that includes inventory, supplies, whatever it is, you use that credit card, right? And then you also use that same bank account with your managed payments. So whenever you make money from eBay, it goes into that account. And not only is it so good to keep that money like separated in one place together, it also is a great way for you to see how you're doing. Because if that bank account isn't going up, or I guess more importantly, if it's going down, then you know that you're doing something wrong. That bank account should be going up. You should be seeing an increase in it. So I cannot stress to you how important it is to have that separate bank account. Second, do your research and learn about a Schedule C form. And that's the form that you are going to be filling out. Understand what a Section C is. And once you do that, you'll have a little bit of an understanding for what types of expenses you should be keeping track of. It really isn't that hard to learn it. It's pretty straightforward. There's lots of resources out there. You can even call the IRS and ask them any questions that you may have. And another thing that's so important, and I don't see enough resellers doing this, and it blows my mind that they don't do this. Blows my mind. Invest in software that will export all of your eBay numbers for you. You should not be sitting there on Google Docs or Excel and entering in all these numbers yourself. No, there's software out there that does all of it for you. I personally use GoDaddy Bookkeeping, and it brings over all of my numbers so that I don't have to do it, right? And then I can go into GoDaddy and I can enter in whenever I buy something for the business, like the cost of goods, any like supplies or anything that I buy, I go in there and I enter it, and it makes a Schedule C for you. So basically what I do at the end of the year is I just review that Section C myself, make sure everything looks good. And then I take it over to a tax professional and I have them review it for me and make sure that I didn't make any mistakes. And if there was certain things, like for example, I bought a computer last year and I wasn't sure how to put that in my taxes. Like I wasn't sure if it like had to be depreciated or whatnot. So I just like told them, Mom, this is what I bought. This is my receipt. Like put it in there for me, you know? So, you know, if there's things that you don't know, you just bring all that to the person who prepares your taxes. And then they do it for you. And it really, really isn't as scary as it sounds. I know that Uncle Sam is a very scary uncle. And I get it. I'm scared of him too. But really, if having your own business was that easy, everybody would be doing it. So there's just certain things that you're going to have to do that just aren't fun, but it comes with all of this, right? So just learn it. And once you do, every year it's just going to get easier and easier. So now I have a couple of other channels, reseller channels that I want to give shout outs to. I really want to start off first with acknowledging eBay addicts. Jeff has a spectacular channel where he interviews all these different resellers. And then he also does his own videos too. But it's just, there's so much knowledge and just so much to learn from his channel, from so many different resellers. And he has just been super supportive of my channel. He's had me on his channel twice this year, and he's really been helping me to reach that 1,000 subscribers. So I super appreciate that so much, Jeff. Thank you so much for everything that you've done. And then also, if you have your own reseller YouTube channel and you're looking for people to collaborate with, I am always willing and ready to collaborate with anybody. So if you ever want to do a video with me, just let me know and I'm happy to work with you. And then I really wanted to give a very special shout out to a particular channel. I have just learned so much from them. I mean, like literally every video they post is just, it's just like glitter. There's just so much that I learn from them, and they're so funny and they're cute and they're entertaining to watch. And it's just, I just love them. And it is the Hustle Couple. They even have like a Facebook group, and they go on there and live stream while they're listing, and they're really fun to watch. So sometimes if I'm doing something eBay related, like if I'm also listing or if I'm doing my shipping, I'll jump on there. I don't do it all the time because they mostly do it at night, and they are just willing to share everything that they know. So if you're not subscribed to them, you are definitely missing out. So check them out. So there's a person that was a very, very, very important mentor to me. He had been a part of my life for like the last 11 years. He was a good friend. He recently passed away, and it was not expected. So it was very hard. I wanted to honor him in a way because about a week before he passed away, he gave me some life advice like he always did. He always just wanted to share wisdom with people. But I wanted to share with you what he said. He told me that life is too short to be fighting with the people we love. So I just want to leave you with that today. I know that the holiday season can be really stressful. Life is too short. There's no reason for anybody to be fighting with anybody. My friends, please stay safe and do whatever it is that you need to do to keep you and your family safe this holiday season. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. Stay young, never stop believing in magic. And don't forget, when you thrift upon a star, your dreams will come true. I love you all so much, and I will see you next year. Bye.